2, 3, 4. Paperback, paperback writer, writer. Share our mind, would you read my book? Jimmy is right, will you take it up? It's based on a novel by a man named Mayor, and I need a job, so I wanna be a paperback writer. Paperback writer.
I'm writing the story about my grandmother, mi abuela, and about picking blackberries. The theme is what my grandma taught me, and I'm going to begin writing my first draft right now. So I made my digital story map, and I have my sequence, and I have details, and I'm going to use this and look at this when I'm writing. Okay, every summer I picked blackberries with my grandmother. We climbed the fence behind her house. Oh, I forgot something. I forgot something. Okay, I forgot something. I want it to go in here before we climbed the fence. We put on long pants and heavy sweaters. So we could not get scratched. Okay, want to remember that that goes in here. Do you see that? It's not beautiful. Okay, it's my thinking. It's my first draft. Your first draft can look messy. You can have ideas over here. Oh, I want to remember this. And it's in English. And the English will not be perfect the first time. But try to use words you know. You can look up words, but do not translate. No Google Translate. I want you to practice thinking and writing in English. Okay, let's talk about your first draft of your story, the written draft. So, your first draft should not be perfect. It can be a little messy, it can be unfinished, but please look at these 5 things that I want to see in your first draft and, of course, in your final story. So first, I'm looking to see, do you own your story? Are you telling a story about a life event, an object, or a person? And in your story, are you describing what this means to you? So this isn't someone else's story. This is a story from your point of view, your perspective. In your story, is there a moment of change? or a life lesson, something you learned, or a conflict that gets resolved or fixed? Is there an organized structure? It can be a sequence of events, or it can be, first I will talk about this aspect of my father, next I will talk about this. Is there organization or structure? Americans love structure. And do you use past tense verbs well in the simple past and in the past continuous? Yesterday, I went to the store. Today, while I was preparing class, my friend knocked on the door. Do you have good connecting words? Are fanboys and also transitions? They can be time and sequence transitions. First, in the morning, many years ago, finally, or they can be other transitional words like contrast, because, that's not contrast, contrast although, but, cause and effect, because, so, as a result. And do you have some good details and describing words that make your story come alive? How long should your story be? Your final digital story that includes your voice should be at least 2 and no longer than 4 minutes long. So your written story should be 250 words at a minimum. That's a 2-minute story, up to 400 words. That's a 3.5 or 4-minute story. When you present your digital story in class, your entire presentation, so us watching or listening to your story and you introducing the story, should be no more than 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, let me show you our timeline. We have already watched and studied stories. Most of you have finished your digital story map, your map. And this week, and you chose how will you make your story. And this week, in week 7, you are writing your first draft. Next Thursday, November 19th, your first draft is due. Thursday at midnight, so I have time to read them. And we will share our first drafts with a partner on Saturday, November 21st, our last class before the Thanksgiving holiday. Then, starting on Friday, November 20th, and on Saturday the 21st, Monday the 23rd, Tuesday the 24th, and the following Saturday the 28th, I will meet with each student one-on-one in Zoom for a writing conference about your story and things I noticed so we can improve your story. You will also be finding images to go with your story. And in week 9, which is during Thanksgiving and following Thanksgiving, you will practice recording your voice. Your final written story and your first voice recording are due to me on Tuesday, December 1st. We've got to go fast. We're losing the light, we're losing time. And then finally, in our last week of the quarter, Wednesday, December 9th, if you are making a video on PowerPoint, on your phone, on Movavi Clips, on InShot, like Jessica said, you will send me your final video by Wednesday, December 9th, so I can prepare it for class. If you are presenting live on Zoom, you should be ready. And I want you to send me your PowerPoint, even if it's not a video, by Wednesday, December 9th, so I have it ready to present.